Welcome to National Latin Exam Level 3 and Up Comparisons Part 3. This video deals with ablatives as seen in the comparison section of the National Latin Exam. You will see ablative nouns used two ways when we're talking about comparison. Number one, the ablative of degree of difference, and number two, the ablative of comparison. Let's take a look at this ablative of degree of difference, and that's what we're talking about. The difference, how much of a difference between two things. Paulo melhor, that means better. Notice we have a comparative adjective here. Better by how much? By a little bit. Better by a little. In English, we might say a little better. In this phrase, I am older than him by 2 years. Older is the comparative adjective that we would expect to see when comparing two things. And then by 2 years tells how much older, and that would be in the ablative. That's why it's called the ablative of degree of difference. Let's take a peek at this test question. Sum molto altior meo fratre. So, we see right here the comparative adjective as our clue. And then we have the ablative talking about how much. I am taller than my brother. By how much? By a bunch, apparently. So that would be much taller. The second use of the adjective that you can expect when dealing with comparison questions is the ablative of comparison. That's where you're comparing two things, and one of them is in the ablative. Halcus est fortior puero. Here's your comparative adjective. Hulk is stronger than the boy in the ablative case. Here is our test question. Venus est pulchrior than the girls. So they want you to say, how do we show comparison? You're more beautiful than an ablative in Latin. So we would have to select puellis. So what's the difference between the ablative of comparison and the ablative of degree of difference? How are you going to know which one? Notice the ablative of comparison is usually a noun. Whereas when we're talking about the ablative of degree of difference, we're talking about some sort of noun that includes a measurement. Fortior multo, that's an adjective, multo. I am braver by a bunch, multo. That is a word that shows some sort of quantity or degree. Or older, what was our other example? By 2 years. So these words show some sort of quantity or amount, and that's different than just a normal noun in the ablative case when working with a comparative adjective. Okay, that is the end of part 3.